This is the Troll Patrol, live with Justin Freakin.
Welcome to the Troll Patrol live. It's a freaking Tuesday. There's nothing going on. There's no interesting stories to talk about. Nobody's done any wild shit. We're just gonna hang out and chill, and it's gonna be a fun time. Holiday, M-Lord, Warlord, good evening. Of course, I'm completely lying to you. It's wild out there. There's wild things going on. A head washed up on a beach in Florida. A college student has been charged in a shooting in North Carolina. A Mustang crashed through a roof in California. The driver killed over dozens of people, plowing through them in China. A factory has exploded in Louisville. People are trapped, dead. I got body cam footage of a 70-year-old man being roughed up by the cops. I've got body cam footage of an alleged rapist or an attempted rapist being arrested. A family in Arizona is demanding answers after a woman was shot by an FBI task force. The parents of an AI nude photo victim are speaking out. A man who was believed to be dead in a kayaking accident apparently faked his own death. I presume a mistress. A Florida engineer raised some eyebrows when he started using the ID of a deceased relative. The leaguer of classified information. God, I don't even remember what it was over. It hasn't even been that long ago. It was like last year. He's been sentenced to 15 years. The head of the Church of England has stepped down over his handling of child diddling. We're going to get into all the crazy picks that Trump continues to make for his cabinet. I don't ever want to hear that he is the anti-war president for sure, because it sure seems like we're gearing up to go to war on multiple fronts, just judging by some of his picks. Including we're going to be talking about a CIA director. A teacher was suspended after her rant about Donald Trump. Smokey, god damn it. He is right across my mouse. He's right on my mouse pad. He's right where my hand is. He's right here, just off camera. Here's your meme of the day. We are currently living in Dumbfuckistan. Go look at the map of California and see how much redder it got. If you really want to get discouraged, that's how bad the Democrats are. They're losing in Democratic strongholds. What the fuck is going on in this country? Did I say the line? Did I do all that and a lot freaking more on the Troll Patrol? Lot Smokey. Minty, good evening. That's fair, M-Lord, but it used to be a good 22, 23 point swing. It was like 39, 40% Republican. And 59, 58% Democrat. Land of dumb fucks. Land of dumb fucks. I was getting ready to say I don't see any borders, do you? But there are totally borders there. My bad. The cat is bothering me. Like, I love this cat. But he is right in the middle of what I need to be doing. To find out what that news be doing. And I don't know what to do about him. I'm going to attempt to move him. Okay, now we're good. Other than Maynard looks like he's going to jump down here into my business. Because of course he is. Earlier, Smokey was up in the window. Fucking there, see? Now Smokey is I have cats all up in my business. Trying to conduct business, cats. He's sitting in front of the monitor that I use to watch the clips that we... Smokey, seriously. He really does not want to be in my lap. He wants to be, like, here. And I really would rather him be somewhere other than here. But hey, it is what it is. Let's find out what that news be doing. Trump continues to pick. And I'm going to have to grab you another story because he's made a pick since... like the countdown started earlier. His cabinet totally filling up.
Congress is back in Washington today with the Senate shifting to Republican control.
The House will be in order.
And the House appearing poised to do the same, clearing the way for the emerging Trump agenda as his administration takes shape. Florida Senator Marco Rubio expected to be nominated as Secretary of State.
Now, he's made two key picks from Florida. It could be pickups for Democrats in special elections if the trends hold, but we're in a weird political time. It's possible they could pick up that Senate seat. However, they were within striking distance. And goddamn, he's on my wrist now.
We are patriots who love America.
Congressman and former Green Beret Mike Waltz officially appointed National Security Advisor. Both men are fierce critics of China and strong supporters of Israel, who voted against the last round of Ukraine funding and have substantial political track records.
They were figures in Washington, if you will, apart from or before Donald Trump. Second of all, they're not isolationists by any means.
They'll fill key roles at a critical time on the world stage, alongside Congresswoman Elise Stefanik, who President-elect Trump picked for U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations, while choosing former Congressman Lee Zeldin to head the Environmental Protection Agency.
The first 100 days, we have the opportunity.
What a fucking cabinet.
To roll back regulations.
And as the senators who will approve the growing list of nominations greet their new members in a body shifted to the right, Democrats who did win their seats looking to diagnose where their party went wrong.
I think that they were, deeper
Byronic, welcome in.
Trust and a lot of problems that people are facing right now. They just don't feel like government right now is at all tackling that in any meaningful way.
A look back as both parties plan a path forward. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
And since that report, he has named his CIA director. At least it's not Kash Patel. But I don't know who is worse. This motherfucker probably is more competent and more focused on a policy agenda than Kash Patel.
Trump filling his second administration at a rapid clip as he prepares to return to the White House. Trump just a short time ago announcing former Director of National Intelligence John Ratcliffe as the latest addition to his administration. The three-term Republican congressman for
seems very Heritage Foundation, don't you guys think? And the way that we're a week, like not even this time last week did he know he was going to be president, and he has already staffed all of these high-level positions. Somebody else is doing it for him, not him. He's not vetting candidates.
Texas now tapped to be the next CIA director. Sources are telling ABC News the president-elect is expected to appoint South Dakota's Republican Governor Kristi Noem as the next Secretary of Homeland Security. Trump today also announcing he is nominating former Arkansas Republican Governor Mike Huckabee to be the U.S. ambassador to Israel. Of course, that is a key position as tensions soar in the Middle East. And this is all happening as Trump prepares to return to the White House for the first time in 4 years, and that will happen tomorrow for a meeting with President Biden. ABC News senior White House correspondent Selena Wang is joining me live now in West Palm Beach, Florida. And Selena, what are we learning here about Trump's new key appointments? Let's start with John Ratcliffe, right now to be CIA director.
Yeah, Kana, these appointments are coming fast and furious, and what is clear from all of these announcements is that Donald Trump is prioritizing and rewarding loyalty, people who he believes are going to be able to carry out his agenda.
We've got multiple people named since I've been on stream we're going to have to go over.
Now, John Ratcliffe, he's a former director of national intelligence. He's also a former Texas congressman. He is a Trump loyalist and someone whose policy views really align with the president-elect's. This also comes as he's named another loyalist into a prominent position. South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem going to be the head of the Department of Homeland Security. Now, this is a sweeping role. Now, the DHS, they oversee everything from FEMA, ICE, Customs and Border Protection, as well as U.S. Secret Service. But what her real focus is going to be on immigration. She is going to help carry out Donald Trump's plan for mass deportations, and she's going to be working very closely with other critical positions, including with Tom Homan, who's been announced as the border czar, and Stephen Miller, Chief of Staff, Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy. So this really goes to show how seriously Trump is taking his campaign promise and how he's likely going to hit the ground running on immigration starting on day one, on week one. Now, Noem is also someone who was stumping for...
Now, we have to cut this short because this news is so stunning. Trump has nominated Fox News host Pete Hegseth to be the Secretary of Defense. President-elect Donald Trump stunned political observers on Tuesday night by nominating Fox News personality Pete Hegseth for Secretary of Defense. Pete has spent his entire life as a warrior for the troops and for the country. Trump, 78, said in a statement, Pete is tough, smart, and a true believer in America first. With Pete at the helm, America's enemies are on notice. In case you didn't know who he was, it's that dude, that smarmy looking dude that you see on Fox News all the time. What job is Tucker Carlson get? He may very well be the communications director or something like that. Insane. Who else are we going to get? Who else are we going to get in this cabinet? I know we're going to get Vivek and Elon Musk leading the new Department of Government Efficiency. President-elect Donald Trump continued to fill his administration at breakneck speed on Tuesday night, tapping SpaceX and Tesla CEO Elon Musk and biotech entrepreneur Vivek Ramaswamy to head up a new Department of Government Efficiency, which of course spells Doge. Despite the name, Trump clarified in a statement that the Musk-Ramaswamy effort would provide advice and guidance from outside of government in tandem with the White House and its Office of Management and Budget. Pete Hegseth being the Secretary of Defense is even funnier to me. Who knows who else we're gonna get? I might have to check here in the next few minutes just to make sure we don't get any other announcements tonight. Battle Opossum. T-, welcome in. We got a teacher on leave, apparently because of a rant that she went on involving Donald Trump. DJ Dub.
Controversy in the classroom. A high school teacher in Moreno Valley is on leave after his response to the presidential election results. And as KCAL's Joy Benedict reports, some students feel like the teacher took it too far.
I'm so sorry, guys. You deserve better. Look at me. You deserve better.
It's an audio recording catching many off guard, taken from a classroom inside this Moreno Valley high school the morning after the election, about Donald Trump.
Let me tell you, I know a lot of Latino men on this campus, adults and students, that love Donald Trump. And he's called their mothers rapists. He's called their fathers rapists. He's called them criminals. He called them the poison in the blood of our country.
He just kept talking about it. He was saying that he's racist. Trump is a rapist.
He is.
What else? Treasonous.
Alec Cologne was in his first period world history class that day.
I like him. He's a good teacher.
But he admits he went too far.
He shouldn't be talking to kids about politics.
A sentiment echoed by other students who have since heard the recording posted online.
My father always told me, if you're going to say something, it's all about the tone and the way you deliver your message. And the way he did it was very unprofessional, was very inappropriate for his students.
Noah Neary is also in 10th grade.
The way he was...
Hey, you know what I say? Fuck this woke moralist bullshit.
Up yours, woke moralists. We'll see who cancels who.
We're not going to stand for this cancel culture. That's his First Amendment right. What is it? Seriously, if he was a right-winger, that's what they'd be saying.
He was speaking his opinion to his students. It was as if he's pushing his agenda towards them, you know, and it wasn't right. That's not what you're supposed to do as a teacher.
The school district sent out a letter to parents saying, in part, we were recently made aware of an incident at one of our high schools in which a staff member's discussion about the election results turned unprofessional. It went on to say the teacher is now on administrative leave, and that has young people fighting back, starting a Change.org petition asking to bring him back and asking for equal punishment for all teachers, no matter their political background.
Is our country racist? Yes. Is our country patriarchal? Yes. Can we change it? Maybe.
His personal opinion to save it to himself.
As for what happens now, students we spoke with say they hope he does come back. They also hope he just tones it down.
I feel like he should learn his lesson for sure.
Some students tell us they plan to walk out of class tomorrow morning in support of this teacher.
In support of
him. The district says the case itself is under review. From Moreno Valley, I'm Joy Benedict, KCAL News.
Thank you, Joy Benedict. I appreciate you. Let's go to New York, where apparently Mayor Adams got into it with some reporters earlier today at a press conference.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm all right. How are you? Two questions. First, you've predicted that mass deportations won't happen in New York City.
You said, I'm sorry.
You have predicted that mass deportations won't happen in New York City.
I predicted that?
Yes, you've said that they won't happen here.
Okay, I don't know about predicting, but go ahead.
Do you think that they will happen here?
We're going to do everything possible to make sure that people are treated in a dignity and humane way that we've done for these last few years.
Okay, so then my question is, how can migrant New Yorkers be sure that they won't happen here, given that ICE can make arrests in New York City without police cooperation? And then the second question is, why should New Yorkers, including migrant New Yorkers, trust that you will advocate for them with the new Trump administration, given that you have a personal stake in winning the president's favor?
Okay, a couple of things. Do you think every New Yorker believes there should not or should be mass deportation? Do you believe every New Yorker believes that?
No, but you have
what?
You don't think there should be.
Yeah, but you said, how can I advocate for New Yorkers? So I should only advocate for one type of New Yorker or all New Yorkers?
Well, that's tough. I don't think you can advocate for all New Yorkers.
Oh, really? Okay, so which New Yorker I shouldn't advocate for? The ones that agree with you or disagree with you?
Well, if you believe there should be no mass deportations, how can people believe that you will advocate for that with the incoming Trump administration?
But you set up a question. This is very interesting, the question you set up.
He's got a big dumb cup.
New Yorkers I shouldn't advocate for?
I'm not sure that was my question. My question was, why should New Yorkers trust that you will advocate for them with the administration?
Eric Adams might get a position in his administration.
New Yorkers, there are people who stop me on the street and says, I voted for the president, and I believe there should be mass deportation. There are people stop me on the street and say, I believe it shouldn't be mass deportation. So what one needs to do is have the ability to sit people in the room and come up with real solutions. That's what I've been doing for 3 years. And so for you to state I'm trying to cover someone's favor when this is what I've been talking about since the beginning of my administration, that we've been in this problem. And even prior to that, I've been an advocate to deal with immigration issues. So this is not about trying to get anyone favor. This is about making sure we treat this city and the residents of this city in a humane way, and that I listen to both sides. That's the difference between being a mayor and someone who could just give opinions. I got to listen to all New Yorkers, not just the one I agree with or disagree with. That's what it calls when you're representing the entire 8.3 million people.
What a weird way to respond to that question. Yeah, I really don't like Eric Adams. Remember about a year and a half ago, he does sound like Tracy Morgan. I'm Brian Fellows. He does. Yeah, that's how you sit in a room and you come to solutions. Oh, you only deport half of the immigrants. The other half can say you concede on that.
With breaking news,
huge federal investigation team on us.
Exploited his top secret clearance.
Off the top here at 6 tonight, the Dighton Air National Guardsman who admitted to posting
that dude, he looks like he's 12 there. When was this picture taken? This is the dude that had top secret clearance.
Guardsman who admitted to posting sensitive military information to online chat rooms, sentenced to 15 years in federal prison. This case sent shockwaves throughout the military and to our global allies. Thank you for staying with us. I'm David Wade.
And I'm Lisa Hughes. The U.S. Attorney says it will be years before we know the full extent of the damage from this leak. As WBZ's Louisa Mueller tells us, Texera's attorney cited a recent autism diagnosis and pleaded for a lighter sentence.
Jack Texera was expressionless when a judge read him his sentence. 15 years in prison, more than half the length of the 22-year-old's life. Before he learned his fate, he spoke to the court, saying, quote, "I wanted to say that I'm sorry for all of the harm that I've caused. I don't think I can really sum up how contrite I am." From the beginning of the sentencing hearing, Judge Indira Talwani did not buy arguments by Texera's defense that he distributed classified government documents online because he has an autism diagnosis and was seeking a community of friends. And she weighed the seriousness of the charges that he posted roughly 40,000 secret government documents online. The prosecution told her, quote, "The defendant's actions directly aided our adversaries and damaged our alliances."
He leaked information that the government had determined could reasonably likely to cause exceptionally grave damage to the United States.
This all started last year when Texera was arrested outside of his North Dighton, Massachusetts home. March of this year, he pleaded guilty to violations of the Espionage Act. Prosecutors say
I guess 15 years for violations of the Espionage Act is pretty good because they're usually a lot tougher than that.
Texera posted thousands of
I guess he took a plea.
Pentagon records to the social media website Discord. Those records included troop movements and Ukraine war plans. He was a low-ranking IT specialist at Otis National Guard base, but had a top security clearance. Prosecutors say he hand-copied and printed the government documents, which began appearing online over a year before he was taken into custody.
Well, that's what you get for giving a 12-year-old top secret clearance.
His family did not comment, but his defense attorney said this.
It's a significant sentence that will deter others, but it's also one that will allow him to self-reflect and grow. And we fully expect that he will be doing so.
I think 15 years is way too
His
tough.
sentence was more than what Julian Assange got, more than what Chelsea Manning got in their roles in exposing government secrets, but ultimately that argument wasn't good enough. Outside of Boston federal court, Louisa Moeller, WBZ News.
So what's changed?
Oh, hold on.
Made changes to tighter controls over sensitive material. It now restricts access to certain information to include only need-to-know personnel. Military members are reminded to report any suspicious internal behavior, and the Air Force also has new procedures
Kids Snapchatting top
who has
secret
received
material.
and read sensitive material.
The head of the Church of England has resigned because of his handling of child diddling. I don't know if he did any child diddling. Prometheus, welcome in.
The Archbishop of Canterbury, the global head of the Church of England, is resigning. Justin Welby says he's stepping down in sorrow after an investigation found he consistently mishandled physical and sexual abuse claims at Christian summer camps. The alleged victims include more than 100
Sounds about right.
in 5 decades. Let's go to ABC's Patrick Reevell in London for more. Patrick, what's the latest here?
Hi, Dan. Yeah, as you say, the Archbishop of Canterbury, Justin Welby, has announced that he is stepping down today. The Archbishop said that he would resign amid intense pressure following this damning report that was published a week ago that said that he had failed to ensure a proper investigation of abuse by a serial abuser at Christian summer camps
that sounds right.
in the 70s and 80s. And this report basically found that a prominent lawyer called John Smith had been brutally abusing boys in these summer camps, and that the church had through its response over the years, effectively failed to provide any meaningful response, and that had amounted to a cover-up. Now, Justin Welby took...
I like how the chat's like, oh, this is nothing new.
And the report found that he had also failed to take adequate responses. It said that if he had gone to the police and reported the abuse at the time, perhaps that could have led to a real investigation and perhaps even a conviction of Smith. And so today we've heard from the Archbishop in a statement saying that he is resigning, saying that he must take personal and institutional responsibility for the period between 2013 and 2024, saying that it was clearly a re-traumatizing period. He also said that he wrongly believed that he had been told...
I mean, that's the least of the things that are wrong with the dude.
...informed about these claims and that then a suitable response would be taken. He said he was wrong to believe that. He also said that he expressed sorrow for the victims.
I wouldn't see anything wrong with wearing a dress, matter of fact.
This would help the Church of England move forward, but clearly an enormous blow to the Church and for the 85 million believers, Anglican believers around the world, Diane.
He probably was in on it. Yeah, like it stopped them from getting a conviction. Yeah, no shit. All right, since Prometheus wants me to step outside when we come back from the other side of the break, there has been an explosion in Louisville. Multiple people are trapped. A driver plowed through a crowd and killed dozens of people in China. A third plane in Haiti has received gunfire. A human head washed up on a beach in Florida. All that on the other side of the break here on the Troll Patrol live. Go ahead, light one up, tip one back. It's all right to have one fun before you hit the sack. I'm JustinFREAKIN.
All we're establishing is this guy's wicked, sick aesthetic.
Not high enough for this shit.
I guess I gotta thank Matt Wall for introducing me to JustinFREAKIN.
Hey there, y'all. We're about to get stupid, locked into what that news be doing. Fu Manchu and a slick bandana. Colder than ice, smoother than Santana. Audio, video, chat, and calls. Right-wing nut jobs haunt the halls. What you wanna watch? Hey, what you think? And there's only one choice. It's JustinFREAKIN.
The guy's, he's a formidable voice in the culture.
Light one up and tip one back. It's a right to be high. Let's grab a snack. It's fucking news, quick panic attack, and play your cards right and get a titty slap. Jumping discords, have some fun. The man will talk to everyone. Get high and try to debate. When shit pops off, chat thinks it's great. What do you think you're doing? Join the Troll Patrol. Wherever discourse is brewing, he gives it that southern drawl.
So let's go ahead and bring in Justin. Hey Justin, how's it going, brother?
First of all, I want to say you're poser South. I'm in Alabama. I'm the real South.
Okay, all right. So why don't you tell us what it takes to be a man?
Well, I don't know. I'm in Alabama and I'll fuck a man in a dress. Why won't you fuck a man in a dress? Are you that insecure that you won't fuck a man in a dress?
That's fantastic. So you're okay with that, right?
Yeah. Why wouldn't I?
Good.
Right-wingers are morons.
Light one it and hit one back. One more clip before we hit the set. Set an alert when that shit goes live. Social fucking support and hit subscribe. Light one up and take a hit. He does no harm, but it takes no shit. He's the last one standing when the ship is sinking. Let's take another rip for JustinFREAKIN.
Light one up, tip one back. I'm JustinFREAKIN.
Not high enough for this shit.
We live in turbulent times. The media is full of deception, conspiracy theories, and fake news. Now, more than ever, it is important to ensure you're getting information from a source that's freaking reliable.
I'm Justin Mullins, and this is the Freakin' News.
Get a breaking or interesting story with a humorous twist in about a minute weekdays, 8 a.m. Eastern on YouTube, BitChute, Odyssey, and more.
Made it just in time. Just in time. Anonymously, what's going on, my friend? What bet? What bet are you talking about? I don't know about any bet. I'm not a betting man. Torchy, good evening. Ducky, welcome in. All right, we're on the crime section of the show. If you're just coming in, you missed the politics section. Trump named a Fox News personality, Pete Hegseth, to be the Secretary of Defense. He's named Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy to be the head of the Department of Government Efficiency, which spells Doge. Oh my God, Smokey is at the door. There he is. An explosion at a factory in Louisville has sent dozens of people to the hospital. We believe multiple people are still trapped at this time. So I was trying to find like the best, most updates information on this. Smokey, god damn it.
Breaking news, an explosion in Louisville, heard for miles, sending nearly a dozen people to the hospital. Good evening and thanks for joining us here at 7. I'm Chris J.
Fuzzy Simba, you think Smokey should get a treat, you say?
Hazardous materials are involved and experts are already performing tests to make sure the air is clean. WLWT News 5's Sean McKinnon has the latest from officials. Plus, a look at some of the damage left behind. Sean.
Ashley, Chris, we have new information from our sister station, WLKY. We know 2 people are in critical condition.
I don't know where they're at.
Of Louisville Hospital tonight. There was a shelter-in-place order for a quarter mile. That is still in effect, but the evacuation order, that has been stopped. From our vantage point, we can't see much. We're on the perimeter of this area. Over the last hour, about a dozen fire trucks have left here. It's calming down a little bit, but it is the video that we have that really shows you this blast. This happened at a food dye and coloring plant, but Louisville's mayor says they do not know what caused the explosion. Like you said, 11 people are in the hospital now. All of them work.
Another useless thing. We don't need a food dye and coloring plant. We don't need to be putting dyes in our food. Explosion at a needless factory. 11 people hurt.
That has been stopped. From our vantage point, we can't see much. We're on the perimeter of this area. Over the last hour, about a dozen fire trucks have left here. It's calming down a little bit, but it is the video.
Apparently, the Mountain Dew is a different color in other countries. Like, you can go watch YouTube videos on it and shit about, like, it's a much more natural looking color.
That we have that really shows you this blast. This happened at a food dye and coloring plant, but Louisville's mayor says they do not know what caused the explosion. Like you said, 11 people.
Flash, welcome in.
All of them worked inside the plant. 2 people were rescued, and now everyone is accounted for. This video gives you a sense of how big this explosion was. It blew out the windows of some houses nearby, and it was reportedly heard and felt for miles. The fire chief says as of right now.
Prometheus, you still in here? 'Cause I'm sure you have blown out the windows of some houses nearby before.
Now, they have not found any issues with chemicals in the air, but they're using drones to monitor the air.
Once we got the fire knocked down, we immediately also started air monitoring for the immediate area. Because of the structural collapse with that explosion, we don't precisely know yet exactly what types of leaks may happen or may be ongoing.
As for those 11 people in the hospital, the mayor did not comment on their conditions, but at this point in time, we're told that there are no deaths in this explosion. Reporting live from Louisville, Sean McKinnon, WLWT News 5.
All right, Sean.
Like, I want to see if I can get like a live shot of what is going on at that Kentucky. I do have some drone footage. Let's check out the drone footage. They didn't really give that good of a shot during the story. There's no audio or anything, but this is insane footage. It's a wonder that more people didn't die. So we believe there are people trapped, 11 people taken to the hospital. No confirmed deaths thus far. That's why I wanted to show this footage. It's insane. I'm pretty sure I saw that people This story says people are trapped or missing.
Breaking news. I do want to put up just this shot as well. As you can see, some of the tape and the WDRB reporter in the frame. We were expected to hear soon from an official coming up in just a little bit. You can see them potentially trying to talk to a PIO or someone about this. But this is a breaking story that we're following right now.
But this report was before the one that I played earlier.
For this potential explosion, hazardous.
This happened this afternoon.
A shelter-in-place order has been issued for at least a 1-mile radius, and first responders are on the scene of a, quote, hazardous materials incident on Payne Street in the Clifton area. They just spoke to an eyewitness on the ground there in this community. Let's listen in to what they have to say in this reporting.
We walked up here. You were very emotional.
Yeah.
What's happened? What have you heard?
I got the call from work. All of my house alarms went off. I called my neighbors. None of us were there except for one of them who's still in her house right now. She's self-sheltering in place at the moment. I'm really concerned for her, myself, and my animals that are there. Apparently there's some sort of gas leak, ammonia leak, I think, and the factory exploded, I guess.
Yes, please be concerned for the animals.
Too, so we're really concerned about that at the moment.
Yeah, you were able to see from your Ring doorbell and that type of thing?
Yeah, I've been getting notifications from my app since then.
That had to be kind of alarming to see that.
Yeah, it definitely is, especially when you can't get to the house.
Nice November day, and you don't expect that.
Yeah.
Now, where is your house in relationship to where we are?
I mean, if you look just down the first fire truck there's a little chicane right there where that that street sign is in the middle. We're just past it, so we're like the second block on up, going up the hill there. Me and all of my neighbors here, basically, except for one of them that's stuck inside her house right now with her kid and her animals.
Any idea when you're going to be able to get in there?
No, we're not getting much information at this time. They said they'd keep us posted. They did say that some of the gas levels around the opposite side of the street were dissipating a lot quicker than that side of the street, which I'm hopeful about, but it's really scary at the moment.
You can kind of see.
She seems cool.
Yeah.
Something in the air.
Yeah. It really makes me
There's something in the air between them.
Susceptible to gases in the air, so I'm pretty nervous about that.
How long have you been out here?
I just got here, probably about an hour ago now, so probably 15 minutes after it happened, and no idea when we'll get in there. I mean, fire department really just arrived is what it looks like, so.
You okay?
Not really. I'm really worried about a lot of us, and I know a lot of us have not really ever really liked that factory being there, so I think this kind of goes to show, why.
Has it been there for a long time?
Yeah, apparently it's been there for many, many years, and I heard from my neighbor actually that this had happened once in the 80s, apparently. I'm yet to look into that, but it's something I'll be looking into after this incident.
Oh, we're so sorry.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay.
And I hope everybody in the...
He really does. He's got a crush on her.
I heard there were some casualties.
Maybe he's just a friendly old man.
Thank you.
All right, some sand reporting there, of course, on the ground. WDRB doing a great job getting the lay of the land of what we're seeing there as, of course, people potentially trapped or missing after this hazardous materials incident in that.
So yeah, this was early on when it was happening. I'm not so sure that there were actually people trapped. 11 people in the hospital was what the latest report had said to us. He seemed like a creeper to battle a possum. Let's go to China. Is that where Lenny's at right now? Have we heard from Lenny? I hope Lenny was okay, because a dude rammed into a crowd of people in China. And I think, Lenny being in China, China is a huge country. So just because Lenny is in China doesn't mean that he is in danger. It does have me a little worried, though. Lenny was in Japan, but was going to somewhere in China, and he wouldn't. I don't know. Like, I feel like he told me, and it wasn't a town that I was really familiar with. And then he's going to Hong Kong, so I think like he's done with his Japanese leg of the trip and was going to China, which would explain if we haven't seen him, because they don't got the same internet. Do they have Twitch in China? That doesn't seem likely, does it? They probably have their own version of Twitch. So yeah, we'll probably hear from Lenny when he's in Hong Kong. Once again, I'm high. I might have got things mixed up, but I feel like that's what he said.
A devastating and deadly scene in southern China where police say a hit-and-run driver deliberately plowed his car into a crowd inside of a sports center last night. At least 35 people were killed. More than 36 others were injured in this crash. The violence unfolded on the eve of China's biggest air show. NBC News international correspondent Megan Fitzgerald joins me now. Megan, local police are calling this incident serious and vicious. What do we know about this man and the possibility?
Oh my God, Battle Opossum. I'm not gonna say it.
Possible motive here.
Well, Vicki, at this point, the motive is still unclear, but what police are telling us from their preliminary investigation is that this 62-year-old man, who they've identified by his last name only, which is Fan, was angry over the split of financial assets through his divorce. Now, what exactly caused him to intentionally ram into this facility where people were working out in this sports center, that is something that's still under investigation.
Sports center.
Pointed out, we're talking about a city that was packed with people, anticipating the next day of one of the biggest aerospace expos in the entire country. So a lot of people hanging around that area. What police are also saying is that when they arrived to the scene, they found Fan inside his vehicle. He was unconscious. He had wounds to his neck. They recovered a knife. They believe those wounds were self-inflicted.
Wow.
At this point, the latest is that he's in the hospital in a coma, but in police custody.
Megan, China has a relatively low crime rate compared to some other countries, but it really has seen a rise in stabbing cases recently. Talk about the reaction to this latest violence.
Stabby.
Well, you know what? In a rare, moment, we're hearing from President of China Xi Jinping, who actually said that he wants Fan to be severely punished in accordance with the law. We don't usually hear from the Chinese president making statements like this. But then, of course, we're hearing from people that are reacting on Chinese social media that are, quite frankly, just shocked and devastated. And as you mentioned, we've seen a string of stabbing attacks over the last several months and other devastating incidents. In September, for example, there was that bus crash that killed 11 people. There was the incident with that little boy, 10 years old. He was walking to Japanese class. He was stabbed to death. And then just last month, there was a number of people that were killed in a stabbing incident. So needless to say, the people of China in these various cities are certainly feeling on edge, Vicki.
Megan Fitzgerald live with us for the latest on China. Thank you, Megan.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the
Shut up, Lester.
app.
If you weren't here the other night, we were doing some local news report. What was it out of like Baltimore or something? And the reporter was Lester's son. And it cracked me the fuck up. Because, you know, his last name was Holt, and he talked and looked like the motherfucker. Oh, clinically, did you miss that? Yeah. We looked it up. He was indeed Lester's son. Spawn of Lester.
CBS News has learned a third plane was hit by gunfire in Haiti. The FAA is now banning flights to the country for a month following the incidents, which CBS News has learned are being investigated by the FBI. The pause comes as Haiti deals with a surge in gang violence. CBS News senior transportation correspondent Chris Van Cleve has the latest.
CBS News has learned that the number of U.S. airliners struck by apparent gunfire has grown to 3 after an American Airlines plane also returned to the U.S. with signs of damage from being...
It's Stephen Holt in Chicago. Stephen Holt in Chicago was who we were watching.
Being shot at, apparently. We also have learned the FBI is now part of the investigation into who was responsible for firing at a Spirit Airlines flight, a JetBlue flight, and now this American flight on Monday in and around the Port-au-Prince airport. The Spirit flight had 48 people on board. We're still waiting for some more details on that American flight. The JetBlue flight was either coming in or heading back to New York City when it was struck. The FAA today ordered U.S. airlines to avoid Haiti for the next 30 days. Basically, they cannot fly below 10,000 feet in and around Haiti. That will stop all U.S. airline service to that.
I thought we already did that.
30 days. The airlines had already suspended service temporarily, the FAA taking this action in light of these shootings, which the FBI is now investigating. But again, 3 U.S. airliners, JetBlue, Spirit, and American Airlines all had aircraft that suffered damage from apparent gunshots. It raises the question, were U.S. airlines being targeted, or was this a larger effort to target commercial aircraft in general? That'll have to be part of the investigation. Chris Van Cleve, CBS News, Washington.
Chris Van Cleve. Van Cleve is kind of a cool last name, to be honest with you. Clinically, we're going to head down your way. But this might not necessarily be something a Florida man did. It just happened in Florida. I feel like this is something that has happened more than once. Might even be a common occurrence. A human head washed up on a beach in Florida. Clinically's like, I found a body. They just put a tarp over it. The human head. Or which part of Florida? This is just the Dexter. This is Miami-Dade. It could be marketing for the Dexter reboot. Mr. Spronk. Crime is out of control and red. Amazingly enough, Florida is like 30-something in crime. It blew my mind. Are they carrying the head in that bag? Is that what we're watching? Shut up, Lester.
Stay updated about.
Do we have an update on the head? Head, Florida. Who knows what the fuck that's gonna fucking... Head in Florida could end up bringing up a lot of things when I Google that. I think they made a documentary about that, didn't they?
Disturbing discovery on the beach. A human head washed ashore in Key Biscayne.
Now it's up to a medical examiner to identify the person and for police to find out how it ended up in the water.
NBC6 reporter Laura Rodriguez is live at the scene with the breaking details for us. Laura?
Well, really lots of questions and definitely not something you hear about every day. This human head washed ashore here behind me just out.
No, I figured it was pretty much a daily thing in Florida.
1 Crandon Boulevard, and Key Biscayne residents are both shocked and intrigued. A chilling discovery on the shore of Key Biscayne Tuesday morning.
It's a shocker.
Police say a human head was found by a person
I used a watermelon in my film.
near the condos at Key Colony. Detectives say the head washed ashore.
Whoever found it, that had to be very horrifying. But again, I don't think that has any reflection on Key Biscayne or crime or concern.
Yeah, imagine taking a romantic walk on the beach and you come across a human head. This is washed up.
Police, but they didn't say that, just said that there was an investigation.
Investigators are working with a medical examiner to determine the identity of the individual and are not ruling out any
It looks like he's got a bowling ball bag in his hand.
scenario. They are looking into missing persons cases and also whether or not foul play was involved.
Could be anything. Who knows? Somebody fell overboard, could be a drug dealer, could be an immigrant. No idea.
More questions than answers, but the sentiment on Key Biscayne
A
seems
tactical severed head bag.
Remains to be seen is where did the head come from.
so lots of scenarios here, of course, but the final word will come from
If you were missing a head, do contact local authorities. They would like to hear from you.
the medical examiner and the police, who are now working together, as mentioned, to identify this person, and that will hopefully lead to some more information about exactly what happened here. Reporting live on Key Biscayne tonight, I'm Laura Rodriguez, NBC6 News.
Well, that's just disgusting, Battle Opossum. Get your mind out of the gutter. Let's go to North Carolina, where a driver apparently plunged into a gorge, ignoring boundaries. Might have happened overnight. Gaius Winston, a gayest good evening to you.
This morning, officials in western North Carolina are urging drivers to pay attention after a car fell off a blocked part of I-40. This happened in Haywood County. The spot was damaged due to Hurricane Helene. Local fire crews tell us they pulled several people out of the gorge. That road was blocked off by a road closed sign, but officials say the driver went around it anyway.
It's Top 5 Tuesday as determined.
Oh, shut the fuck up. Top 5 Tuesday, my ass. What's your top 5, guys? Damn. Video of that wreck. The pictures of that wreck. Did a number on it. Speaking of somebody crashing their vehicle, let's go to California, where a Mustang crashed through the roof of a house. God, I hope we have video. I'm sure we'll get to see the aftermath, but God, I hope we have video of it happening. Some Ring camera or something. Happened in Chino, apparently.
We are getting new details this morning after a wild crash in Chino. The driver somehow plowed into the second story of a home.
Eyewitness News reporter Niku
Somehow
joins us now live with what happened. Niku.
Yeah, Giovanna and Philip, certainly not the wake-up call that these Chino homeowners wanted this morning. They were woken up to the sound of a car crashing through their home, and as you can see behind me, the damage is extensive. A strange midnight crash on Medford Court in Chino woke neighbors up in disbelief. For the homeowners who are unharmed, this crash has left them without their home and shaken up.
It sounded like a plane drove through our house. Woke us up, and there's a car parked.
You sure did, anonymously. I was very perplexed at how we went all through the video. I had to scrub through it to figure out how the car went off of. There ended up being an overpass, and we saw how it jumped it and went through the roof. This one might be as perplexing.
Of our home, and it's just devastating.
Next door neighbor Francisco Anaya heard the entire thing.
We were laying in bed, but we heard a car doing donuts in that cul-de-sac back there. It stopped, maybe 5 minutes passed. My wife says she heard a takeoff. And then from there, you just hear this huge boom. I was scared.
This one jumped a ramp, it looks like, went through the ditch, the drainage way.
That was an earthquake.
A preliminary investigation shows the black Mustang was traveling southbound on San Antonio Avenue when it struck a curb and the concrete side of the drainage canal. The crash was so intense, it caused the car to go airborne before colliding into the home. The driver, identified as 21-year-old Jacob Torres, was transported to the hospital with serious injuries. 3 other passengers, including a 19-year-old and 2 minors, were also transported to a hospital for their injuries.
Lucky to be alive.
I mean,
Riverboat Jack.
Realize that.
Welcome in, Raiders. Good evening. Very glad to have the Riverboat gang here. Hope you had a lovely stream, Jack. Welcome in. I'm JustinFREAKIN. We find out what that news be doing Sunday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern. The most absurd news, politics, and current events on the internet. We are currently watching a Mustang that was doing donuts and apparently took off and flew through the second story of a house. Insane footage. We're going to go back for everybody's benefit.
Joins us now live with what happened. Niku.
Yes, thank you for being a freaking follower. Everybody hit that follow button. Welcome in.
Not the wake-up call that these Chino homeowners wanted this morning. They were woken up to the sound of a car crashing through their home, and as you can see behind me, the damage is extensive.
I do need to throw out, there is a content warning on this show.
Midnight crash.
Content warning, fuckers. Look at this. Look at this Mustang. That is the second story of a house in Chino, California.
On Medford Court in Chino woke neighbors up in disbelief. For the homeowners who are unharmed, this crash has left them without their home and shaken up.
It sounded like a plane drove through our house. Woke us up, and there's a car parked on the second floor of our home, and it's just devastating.
Next door neighbor Francisco Anaya heard the entire thing.
We were laying in bed, but we heard a car doing donuts in that cul-de-sac back there. It stopped, maybe 5 minutes passed. My wife says she heard a takeoff. And then from there, you just hear this huge boom. I was scared that was an earthquake.
A preliminary investigation shows the black Mustang was traveling southbound on San Antonio Avenue when it struck a curb and the concrete side of the drainage canal. The crash was so intense, it caused the car to go airborne before colliding into the home. The driver, identified as 21-year-old Jacob Torres, was
lucky to be alive.
Serious injuries. 3 other passengers, including a 19-year-old and 2 minors, were also transported to a hospital for their injuries.
Scary to know that this could happen. I mean, you just never realize that
it could happen here in our neighborhood because it's so, I mean, I've lived here like almost 30 years and I've never ever had something like this happen.
Neighbors agree the driver and the passengers were lucky this time.
I was a teenager once. I didn't drink, but I had a lot of friends that did, so it does not surprise me.
You like to smoke, didn't you?
Oh, we all do. Just learn from what happened, and if their friends are watching to see your
like a little toot every now and again
from it.
I just hope that like if people are doing that they notice or they can see that something bad can really happen. You know, those kids were lucky, and you never know what happened to the next person.
And when we spoke to the homeowner earlier, she actually said kids often do donuts in her street, the street behind where her home is. You can see all the donut marks right now. Still marks, dozens of them all over the street here. This is San Antonio Avenue, by the way. And according to Chino police, they believe alcohol may have been a major contributor in this crash.
Hello, you think? Get more. Hey, Mark Brown. My favorite quote was the woman who said there was a car parked in the second story of her home. Okay, I don't know how I'm going to land on this story. This dude is claiming that he criticized somebody's dog and got shot for it. And my first question is, well, what'd you say about the dog? Because maybe you deserved it. I think this happened in Pennsylvania.
The details: a shooting led to a barricade and a short standoff in Philadelphia's Strawberry Mansion neighborhood over the weekend. And tonight we're learning how it all started when a dog wandered into the wrong area. Action News reporter John Paul live at police headquarters with more. John, you talked to a man who was actually shot in all.
But the puppy didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah, I did. I talked to him a bit earlier today, Rick. He's out of the hospital and now he's telling his story. He says this whole thing happened after a comment that he made about another man's dog.
Bow! I'm like, yo, you shot me?
That was the moment Darnell Henry nearly died. You can see his arm is in a sling now after the bullet went through his shoulder.
Hit me right here. So I'm like, I'm not really feeling it. I didn't even know the bullet was here.
He says he was outside watching TV in front of his house on West Oakdale Street in Strawberry Mansion early on Sunday morning, November 3rd. Now, according to Henry, his dog Bella walked up to 56-year-old Paul Sanders, who was walking his own dog at the time, and Sanders did not want the dog near him. At one point, Henry tells us that he mentioned that the man's dog looked skinny and believes that's why he came back with a friend a few minutes later and shot him.
I'm more angry than anything. Like, yo, like really, we couldn't, over a dog talk, bro? A dog talk. This is nothing else but talking about how his dog was with my know, feed your dog, and walk away. I get a bullet for that?
After the shooting, police say Sanders and 20-year-old Tannen Fitzpatrick walked away from the scene and barricaded themselves inside of a home on North 23rd Street. We were there when the SWAT team entered that home and arrested the two, who are now facing a number of charges, including aggravated assault.
It's upsetting, man. It's really upsetting, man. I could have died right there. Like, literally, I could have died over a dog talk.
Henry's still waiting to hear from
over a dog talk.
Next steps in the process, and he's trying to figure out why something so simple escalated into a shooting.
I just don't understand how people just run to a gun. Philly, it's no love in this joint, man. This ain't the city of brotherly love.
No, it's mass shooting USA.
Darnell Henry says he's still waiting on police to contact him to get his side of this story about exactly what happened. Police tell me that both the suspects remain behind bars tonight. We're live outside of police headquarters. John Paul, Channel 6 Action News. Rick?
All right, John, thank you.
Dougie wants to evaluate the dog and know if it really was skinny or not. Did that dog need to put some weight on? Maybe it was a very active dog. We don't know how old the dog is. If the dog's like 2 years old, some breeds of dogs just look like they're emaciated, but like they're eating all the time and they're fucking running it off. High caloric intake, running off those calories. Speaking of it being mass shooting USA, a college student has been charged in a shooting that took place on a North Carolina highway. It happened outside of Raleigh.
Drivers in the Raleigh area are breathing a sigh of relief following an arrest in connection with random shootings on a busy freeway. One person was injured and multiple cars damaged by the gunfire. Now cops say they've arrested a suspect. Turns out he's a local college student.
A college student is facing charges that he is a notorious highway sniper who has terrorized motorists on Interstate 40.
It's Kyle from South Park.
Cops took 23-year-old Thomas Graney into custody today. He's an anthropology major at North Carolina State University.
That checks.
Authorities say the wanted sniper opened fire at least 11 times over 3 days this week. We found this video of Graney posted on social media talking about the pressure of college.
I have to read an entire book on due on Monday. I have to do a book report that's due on Monday. And I don't know what to do. So I'm making a TikTok instead.
WRAL-TV reached Graney's mother, who said she was stunned to see the video of him in court.
Oh my goodness. Lord have mercy. There's his wild hair. He was so clean cut. It just makes me fall.
Yeah, they made an arrest, honestly.
This is not my son, Andrew Graney.
In this blurry video from his high school graduation 3 years ago, he was described this way.
Andrew marches to the beat of his own drum. The rules and conventions of life don't apply to him. I believe you will do great things if only you'll do your homework.
Graney is being held without bond.
Officials say shell casings found near the scene match the type of gun found in the suspect's home.
That's what happens when you don't do your homework, kids. Remember, not highways, apparently. Schools or highways. Don't shoot at them. Shoot loads, not bullets. But don't go knocking women up though, like jizz on the back or something. We got enough kids. Body cam video shows the arrest of a man charged in a kidnapping and an attempted rape. Or on them titties. Jizz on them titties.
A titty slap!
Come on now.
New details tonight about a man police say tried to rape a woman in Gahanna. Tonight we're seeing new video of his arrest.
Hey, do me a favor, stop your bike, get your hands up for me.
10 TV first told you about this last Wednesday. Jonathan Steele is facing kidnapping and attempted rape charges. Court records claim the 27-year-old pointed a gun at a woman near a Gahanna park and
Does he have a Mickey Mouse hat on? No, he's got like earmuffs or something, like fucking not muffs. Ear protectors for like you're shooting a gun or something.
dragged her toward the woods. The woman was able
Maybe
to
they're
get away.
headphones.
Officers later found the suspect riding a bicycle on Price Road near James Road.
Were you in any type of altercation with a female right before we saw you?
No, sir.
Court records claim Steele waived his Miranda rights and confessed to having thoughts of wanting to rape someone 1 hour before the incident. Tonight, Steele is being held without bond.
Well, fuck that dude. Put Steele behind the steel bars. An Arizona family wants their questions answered after an FBI task force shot a woman. Not the only police malfeasance you'll see tonight.
A mother and FBI witness shot and killed by a violent crimes task force. It happened 5 years ago in El Mirage. The ABC 15 investigators now learning more about what happened and, more importantly, what went wrong. Her family speaking exclusively to our team.
Her car was shot at, glass was everywhere.
This FBI operation was never about Melanie Duvall.
Everything was ripped out of her truck. There was caution tape.
But what happened on June 19th, 2019 cost Melanie her life.
It's insane, you know, how they can shoot at somebody 22 times and call that reasonable.
Her red pickup truck riddled with bullets at US 60 in Thompson Ranch Road during an FBI undercover investigation in El Mirage. What would you want to say to the FBI and the officers who shot your mom?
Stop abusing your power.
What Melanie's daughter didn't know at the time was her mother was an FBI witness, helping law enforcement capture a wanted suspect they say she was in a short-term relationship with.
I know they know what they've done wrong.
5 years later, Adriana Navarrete is still fighting for accountability and has filed this federal lawsuit. How would you describe this case?
It's one of the most horrifying, most tragic cases I've seen in my 48 years of practicing law.
Adriana's attorney, Michael Berg, says the FBI task force should have called off its operation.
I had the content warning, didn't I? Sorry, Mr. Balls. It becomes lighter again. No, not with that one. Not with that one. Yeah, that's pretty funny. We'll laugh at. Yeah, we got some funny stuff.
This was a plan that had gone awry. They knew that there was a problem. They decided to go in and, in my opinion, just cowboy it.
Berg says Melanie was helping the FBI capture this guy, Ernesto Izaguirre, wanted on multiple felony warrants, including aggravated assault, drugs, and stealing cars.
She was cooperating and talking to the FBI throughout this entire situation.
And for the first time, court records detail what her family says went wrong.
It was absolutely...
It's my duty.
According to the lawsuit, the original plan was for Melanie to drive the wanted suspect to this Walmart. An FBI task force was going to arrest him in the parking lot.
We showed up at Walmart, and that's when everything started getting really weird, and, you know, Ernesto started acting really fidgety. I knew something was wrong.
Adriana got out of the truck minutes before. Also in the car, a 16-year-old girl who survived. When the original plan failed, officers tried a traffic stop nearby, surrounding Melanie's truck on all four sides. And court documents say conducted a boxing in and ramming tactic, which is known to be dangerous.
We believe that he then, while she was in the driver's seat, hit the accelerator and pushed the car in front a very tiny distance. And at that point, they opened up fire.
They were excessive about what they've done. 22 times she was shot at.
That number of gunshots, also mentioned in court records. And here's a critical piece.
So they are well aware that there is an innocent woman in the car. They used the civilian to entrap a target and then shot her to death.
Piece of information.
And there's a kid in the car, too.
Task force knew the wanted suspect was going to turn violent and had a prior history of ramming through a roadblock.
They knew. She had been telling the FBI.
Berg points to this text message as proof. It's between the FBI task force and Melanie in the hours before the shooting.
This is insane.
Concerns about going forward with the operation. Melanie wrote, "He will take my truck and run if we're in it. I can promise that." An officer responded, "You have to drive." Melanie wrote back, "I will. He will take my truck this time. He told me if we ever get pulled over again." And what did the FBI do?
They ignored it.
The lawsuit claims the shooting was both unlawful and unjustified. It also claims no weapons were ever found in Melanie's truck. And it says Melanie Duvall was never a suspect of any crime, yet her driver's window was riddled with bullets.
I have to tell my children that they'll never have a grandma.
And I don't think he survived.
Not only not a bystander, but someone who's cooperating. This should never, ever happen again.
I'll never stop fighting for my mom. They just miss her a lot. I love her so much.
We asked the FBI for comment and for more specifics on Melanie's role in their undercover operation, but the agency declined our request.
As for the investigation, the wanted suspect was arrested that night.
No, he's still alive.
Records was released from prison last month.
In court documents, the FBI has justified the shooting by saying other officers were in danger. But the family's attorney tells us there's no evidence that's the case.
Now that's maddening.
To take this to trial. I'm investigator Jennifer Kovaleski, ABC 15, Arizona.
So he was so wanted that the motherfucker is out of prison in less than 5 years, and they had to shoot the witness that they used to entrap him. All of that is bullshit. Five Shot, good evening. Welcome in. Gotta hit the content warning on this one. And you're gonna be saying ACAB again on this one. We have a 70-year-old man who was stopped by the cops, and well, cops be doing cop things.
It's shocking video of a 70-year-old man being thrown to the ground during a traffic stop. The Oklahoma City Police Department has since put the officer on administrative leave.
Oh my God.
An internal investigation is underway.
I'll have to write you a ticket for improper U-turn.
Video of their exchange was released by the department. At first, it seems like a calm conversation. The officer asks him to sign the ticket.
Sorry, let me clarify, okay?
But the driver appears to disagree and starts to walk away.
Hey, you are the police.
Yes.
So you know
okay.
How many cars?
We are done, sir? No, we are not arguing about this, okay?
I want to show you.
We argue in court. We argue in court.
You take the phone and...
We argue in court.
No,
we don't argue on the side of the road. We argue in court. Yes, that's how it works. Because if not, if you don't sign this, you go to jail. Okay? I don't want to take you to jail.
I'm ready to go to jail.
You ready to go to jail?
As they continue to debate the ticket, the driver seems to tap the back of his hand on the officer's chest. And that's when the officer...
Wow.
And handcuffs him.
Yeah, I'm going to call an ambulance.
In a statement, the police department said there was a use of force, and he sustained serious injuries that required hospitalization. It added that the department is dedicated to transparency and accountability. We want our community to know that this case is being thoroughly investigated and the review process will take time to complete. We ask for your patience as we work to conclude this investigation. The case will be presented to the district attorney's office for review. This is Inside Edition Digital.
That's some bullshit if I had to guess. If I had to guess, the dude actually didn't do a U-turn, and the cop is full of shit and just wanted to write him a ticket and wanted to be a dick. And the man was rightfully indignant about it. Dude probably has a squeaky clean record, never done anything wrong in his life. Gets treated like that by the cops. It's wrong. It's disgusting. It's a miscarriage of justice. Parents are calling for resignations at a Lancaster school. Was this Pennsylvania? Where a student was apparently the victim of an AI nude photo scam.
Didn't show up today, saying that they don't feel safe here because of how administrators at Lancaster Country Day handled this AI scandal. Now their parents have joined together, getting a lawyer who sent this letter to the Board of Trustees today, which asks the head of school and the head of the Board of Trustees to step down in the next 48 hours.
It's Pennsylvania.
Arm in arm and chanting together. More than 200 Lancaster Country Day students walked out of the upper school.
There are 50 student victims.
And took their message to the streets outside Friday. Fed up, they say, with a lack of acknowledgement from their school leaders. Last November, someone called in a tip to the Safe to Say line about artificially generated nude photos of underage girls from the school. Police say school leaders did nothing. Months went by, and word of the photos surfaced again in May. Parents say again the school did nothing until a parent called police. Now, a police investigation has uncovered at least 50 victims, and parents want the adults, who are mandated reporters, held accountable for not reporting what they knew and when they knew it. A group of parents had a lawyer send this letter to the Board of Trustees Monday afternoon, demanding the resignation of the head of school, Matt Mitchkey, and the head of the board, Angela Ang Aladef. The letter says, despite the long-standing and clearly illegal nature of the child pornography and sexually exploitative images, school leaders did not act on a tip related to the images, and they also failed to report and stop the abuse. The parents give the school 48 hours, or they say they'll sue. So the criminal investigation in this case continues. The student suspect withdrew from school last year, and the detective working on the case from Susquehanna Regional Police says she has filed new search warrants and hopes to file charges soon. Outside Lancaster Country Day, I'm Meredith Jorgensen, WGAL.
50 victims. Those poor girls. What kind of world are the kids growing up in now? And I can't get Photoshop to give me an AI Donald Trump. Wow, DJ Dub. Damn near all the high school age girls. Shit. Because you said it's only a school of 600? We already did that one, Monsieur Balls. Coming in here late to the party. Here's one you're gonna get a kick out of. You're right, M-Lord. It's the one we gave him. Well, not me. I didn't do any fucking... I don't have kids. I ain't concerned about your fucking kids. Don't want them. Don't need them. Don't want to be around them. Keep the kids away from the freak daddy. It's probably like, you know, it sounds like a good idea. By the way, I am getting close to launching the fourth wall. And one of the new products is the Senator Kennedy Pride Towel. I'm having a lot of fun creating new products on the fourth wall.
I can't wait to have your cock in my mouth. I'm going to give you the blowjob of your life. Then I want you inside of me.
I just don't know how many of you want a towel that has that image on it. Oh, you want a t-shirt? How about the all-new Let's Get Down to Shabusiness shirt? I don't know what you're talking about. Bald head. The towel will make a nice Hanukkah present. Exactly. We'll make a very nice Hanukkah present. How about... I'm on a roll here. You can pick up your very own does not smell like Gwyneth Paltrow's pussy candle. Truck nuts molded from my testicles. It doesn't have a smell. That's why it does not smell like Gwyneth Paltrow's pussy. It's just a candle. There's no smell. No. It's a soy candle. Reedia says forget about I'm sorry, I can't give it a smell. But those are some of the new products that will be I am a soy candle. Those are some of the new products that will be populating the Freak store. So this father went missing in Wisconsin. And people thought he died in a kayaking accident. That doesn't seem to be the whole story.
We're going to turn to the father of 3 reported missing after kayaking in August. Police now believe he faked his own death, fled overseas. Eva Pilgrim here with the story. Good morning, Eva.
Good morning, George. For 54 days, volunteers and search and rescue teams scoured a Wisconsin lake looking for a missing father. His family thought he drowned, but now authorities telling his wife and 3 kids he had a secret.
This morning, a stunning discovery in the search for a missing Wisconsin husband and father of 3.
The family comes up with that he's drowned, and now all of a sudden they come up with he's not in the lake, he's someplace else.
Investigators think Ryan Borgart didn't drown in this lake, but instead say he faked his own death to run off to Europe with a woman he met online.
We identified that he purchased some airline coupons, that he took out a life insurance policy earlier in the year.
The 54-year-old was first reported missing August 12th when he didn't come home after kayaking on this lake near his home in Wisconsin. Police finding a capsized kayak and Borgart's car parked nearby. Fishermen finding his fishing pole and tackle box with his wallet, keys, and license inside. An army of search and rescue volunteers began scouring the lake to bring him home. Keith Cormican, who runs an organization called Bruce's Legacy, was on the water searching for nearly a month.
You know, what a waste of time that we did. We put
what a waste of resources, yeah.
An effort into that case. Very disappointed in them. Anybody that could do that.
The apparent ruse unraveling last month. Investigators became suspicious after they found out Borgart's name had been checked by Canadian law enforcement August 13th, the day after his disappearance. They discovered he'd gotten a new passport last January after reporting his missing, and he'd taken out a $375,000 life insurance policy. Investigators say Borgart had been communicating with a woman in Uzbekistan and even moved money to a foreign bank before disappearing. Authorities now pleading with him to phone home.
Our whole thing is
Uzbekistan.
He's got 3 kids, and they really miss their dad.
The sheriff telling us it's still too early to know if there will be any charges. The investigation is still very much ongoing. And one of the questions they're asking, how he got to Canada and if someone helped him in this whole plan, guys.
Wow. Sounds very sophisticated.
Lots of steps along the way.
All right, Eva. Thank you.
He's kicking authority in the balls.
Oh, this is amazing. We're going to hear more about this. This dude's going to turn up somewhere. Fantastic. I bet she was hot. Okay, we're going back to Florida. And I've pointed this out before. The profession most likely to be a terrorist is an engineer. So anytime an engineer does something suspicious, It should raise some eyebrows. This South Florida engineer is suspected of using his late father's license, sparking a safety concern.
Tonight, Local 10 News has learned county and city building departments in South Florida have been put on notice after it was learned an unlicensed engineer allegedly used his deceased father's license number and forged his signature to perform and sign off on building inspections.
And that man tells Local 10 investigator Jeff Hines here the allegations are untrue, but tonight there is serious concern by a state investigator.
Think you put anybody's life in danger by forging these inspections?
I never forged any inspections, but I never put anybody's life in danger.
He is Enrique Fernandez. That name, this signature, using professional engineering license number 218, signed off on inspection after inspection for plumbing, electrical, mechanical. These inspections are from 3900 Alton Road, a 9-story residential building on Miami Beach with 178 units.
You are telling me that you never performed one inspection?
No, sir.
The same Enrique Fernandez, using the same signature, using the same license number, allegedly signed off on dozens of inspections at the massive Pier 66 redevelopment and renovation project in Fort Lauderdale. The problem, the real Enrique Fernandez, assigned to professional engineering license 21218, died back in 2018.
Whose signature is this right here?
That is not mine, sir.
Right there. It's not your signature,
no, sir,
on this inspection report.
No,
the Florida Board of Professional
his dad's.
in Tallahassee is investigating. They fired off this cease and desist letter demanding Fernandez stop practicing engineering without a license.
Well, your signature is on inspection.
Somebody forged my signature then.
Somebody forged your signature.
Yes, sir.
There's a long list of inspections Fernandez allegedly signed off on buildings in the city of Miami, Miami Beach, unincorporated Miami-Dade, Fort Lauderdale.
He used his father's engineering seal and forged his signature on all sorts of inspection documents. He renewed his father's engineering license after he passed away.
The board's investigator asked not to be identified due to the scope of her work.
What keeps you up at night?
Waiting for another building to fall down.
Seriously.
More people to die.
The Miami-Dade Department of Regulatory and Economic Resources firing off this memo to all...
How many buildings have we watched collapse on this show in Florida?
About Fernandez...
At least 3.
...his father's signature on inspections. Enrique Fernandez worked for a private company called NV5 here in Hollywood. Why was he hired? What background checks did they do? NV5 refused Local 10's requests for an on-camera interview. In a statement to Local 10 News, the vice president and general counsel for NV5 said Mr. Fernandez worked for NV5 for a short period of time. When confronted, he was unable to provide a valid engineering license and was subsequently terminated. NV5 is cooperating with authorities in their investigation, and any suggestion by Mr. Fernandez that his signature was forged during his employment with NV5 is...
But we don't pay attention to what goes on in Canada, Prometheus.
This statement does not address NV5's hiring practices.
Do you believe that Enrique Fernandez has put lives in danger?
Yes. He's done a job he wasn't qualified for. Unless and until something fails, of course, you don't necessarily know.
In Florida, by law, property owners or contractors can hire licensed private inspectors, such as engineers or architects, to conduct inspections on new construction projects instead of solely relying on county and city inspectors. That system is supposed to speed up the process by reducing government backlogs, and they submit their reports to local building departments for review.
But I can tell you, in a previous case very similar to this, the defendant in that case was arrested and charged.
Tavistock, the developer and owner on the billion-dollar Pier 66 project on the 17th Street Causeway in Fort Lauderdale, calls this an unfortunate incident. Quote,
an unfortunate incident.
A third party to confirm the systems operate according to design. NV5 brought in a licensed forensic engineer to reinspect and validate all areas. But those re-inspections obtained by Local 10 News from the Pier 66 project conducted by NV5 are identical to the ones Fernandez originally wrote, just with different engineers signing off and different dates, which raises even more questions.
So it's all a lie.
It's all a lie, sir. they got the wrong Enrique Fernandez.
The investigation continues, and Fernandez has hired a lawyer. Jeff Weinseer, Local 10 News.
Jeff, thanks a lot. The cities and Tavistock, the developers of Pier 66, say the projects Fernandez were involved in were not structural in nature. Additionally, Tavistock says none of the re-inspections indicate any discrepancies that would cause any buildings to fall.
Well, I seem to have come to the end of my list of news. It looks like all I got. Anybody want a police chase? This happened earlier today in LA, and we are chasing a Corvette. Looks like we don't have audio. Going about 90. This was streamed about 4 hours ago, so that would put it at, about 5:40 in the evening. Oh, wait a minute. My 5:40. They're 2:40. So almost school letting out time. Being aggressive, but I wouldn't say erratic. Driving very fast on a road you probably shouldn't drive that fast on. You should probably not go over 40 on a road like that. Coming up on a car, passes it. Not obeying stop signs and lights, which we have seen suspects do in the past. Driving it like he owns it. I don't know that we know what this is who this is a suspect, what they are a suspect in. There's a black and white, but they did not go after the car. Or slowing back down, there seems to be truck stopped in the middle of the road. That is a very nice Corvette. Weird for a parking lot like that to be that empty on a weekday. Oh, it's a JCPenney. Who goes to a JCPenney? That makes sense. I've got Maynard wanting in. Perhaps he didn't want in. So we've lost him under this parking structure around the JCPenney. This is brilliant. So far, that seems to be the winning strategy if you want to actually evade the cops. if you don't care about ditching the car. That's the problem. Because a lot of these are, stolen cars that we're seeing. Though we don't know that's the case with this one. But every time we've seen somebody get away, they've either been on a motorcycle or they've gone into a multi-level parking structure. That seems to be the winning strategies. Especially in California, where they tend to back off on the chases. Seriously, dude can just go inside JCPenney and act like he's shopping. Or gal, or non-binary. We can't discriminate. We've seen all kinds. Police chases are for everybody. Yeah, just go shop for a couple hours in JCPenney. Yeah, they've probably given up on it at this point. Yep, they cut back to Judge Joe Brown. Let me see if I can get you an update. Ow, Smokey. I see no update. It is very possible that the driver of the Corvette got away. Which, good on them. We're seeing if there's a police chase going on right now, because, you never know. I do have another one, though. So let's do it. This dude, we might be 2 for 2 tonight, because this guy is exploiting the other cheat code against the cops. He's on a motorcycle.
Transmission here, you can see continuing now westbound 210 freeway, slowing down slightly.
This happened last night.
Cars that are on the 210 this evening, but then once he gets clearance, you can see him speeding right up, mostly hugging those left lanes, occasionally swerving over to the right, trying to lose
La Tuna Canyon.
Really, they are using every ounce of freeway, every inch of freeway, I should say, at their disposal to try and keep up with this suspect, and doing an excellent job despite the extreme speeds. We're continuing to follow him at between 130 and 140 miles per hour. He is going to use every ounce of gas left in that tank as he continues this dangerous high-speed pursuit into the San Fernando Valley. He'll be coming into the valley here in just a couple of minutes.
You guys think he's going to get away?
Passing through Tahunga here again, finding his sweet spot here on that left lane, 130 miles per hour, cruising with looks like a dark color shirt, light shorts, is wearing a helmet. If there was any kind of traffic on this freeway, CHP likely would have to give this up because of the dangerous nature of these speeds. But with only a few cars out there, they are able to navigate this light traffic and keep up with him.
It's only 9:30. Why is traffic so light?
And he's continuing to basically drive, other than the high speeds here, he's basically driving with minimal risk to other motorists here. Of course, one wrong move and that could all change very rapidly. But again, there's not a whole lot of cars out there, and as long as they see it, as long as they decide that it's a
safe speed or safe pursuit, they can try and keep up with him. Again, they're doing about the same speed he's doing, now down to about 100 miles per hour. All the way back over to the left.
I think he's going to get away.
Looks like he's showing signs
Taking
of
an
getting
exit.
off the freeway, off of the 210 freeway at Osborne Street as he comes into the Pacoima area off the nose here. He is now on surface streets.
Taking Aussie Street.
And he may go through.
Nope, he's going back on.
Freeway. Looks like he's getting back on, getting right back on the freeway. Gets off at Osborne, gets back onto the entrance ramp of the 210 freeway.
We've seen that be an effective strategy.
Terrace, CHP continuing to follow not too far behind here at speeds in excess of 120 miles per hour.
Oh, it said that one time a biker did that and
He is
hit a sign,
bike to the
and that was
limit here
hilarious.
as he continues these high speeds. Again, this all started as a traffic stop wanted for speeding up the freeway out in Covina, up the 57 freeway onto the 210. He has remained on the 210 freeway ever since. Now coming
He
up
said
on
if
the
he's going to
118
speed,
freeway here.
they're going to get me for speeding. Make it worth my while.
CHP now handing this off to Altadena. They are continuing to travel at extreme speeds to keep up with the suspect. And once again, that motorcyclist getting off of the 210 freeway, this time at Paxton Street here in the San Fernando Valley, coming up on a red light, I believe, making a left turn here under the freeway, under the overpass. Those cruisers making the turn with him, and he's going to turn around. He's turning around, getting back on the freeway, getting back on the southbound side. That's going to be the eastbound 210 freeway, which is literally south. As he gets back onto the freeway, they're going to make that left turn.
Literally south,
doing a full
not
U-E,
figuratively.
and now getting back onto the freeway. Again, light traffic on the 210 freeway as he now reverses course, going back in the opposite direction and getting all the way back over to the left shoulder to get around even that left lane traffic there. So using that shoulder where he sees fit to try and get around whatever traffic's in his way here. But as you can see here, traffic again relatively light on a Wednesday night. You can see California Highway Patrol with their helicopter shining that night sun on that motorcycle, keeping
Night
up with
sun.
them at these dangerous speeds. CHP, these new units falling back just a little bit, but they have handed it off to their Altadena division, and you can see there are at least 2 units right behind them. Passing Foothill here as he continues eastbound on the 210 freeway, now traveling back.
He's eastbound and down. He likes to get close to the other vehicles on the road.
Again, if you're just joining us on ABC7.com and our 24/7 streaming channels, Chris Christie up in Air 7 HD as we continue to follow
Always appreciate you, Chris Christie.
motorcycle pursuit through Latuna Canyon.
Not the
down
former
the
governor.
Freeway here with California Highway Patrol up above and not too far behind, trying to keep up with that motorcycle, trying to maintain a visual and not lose sight of him. If he continues at these speeds, he is going to exhaust.
Us police chase nerds all know Chris Christie.
Hopefully be forced to surrender here, but we'll see how much time he's got left on this bike. You can see him using all 4 lanes of the freeway.
Christie seems to think he's going to run out of gas before he can get away from him.
Here on the 210 freeway, he's been traveling westbound on the 210, reversing course in the San Fernando Valley, now getting off of the 210 freeway, this time at Sunland Boulevard. And we'll see if he continues the pattern here. Will he continue this game of cat and mouse, get back on the freeway maybe, or take this onto surface streets? Is he maybe running out of fuel? It looks like he might
Is he just stopping?
running out of gas here at the exit ramp. CHP now out of their vehicles with their guns drawn.
No way.
The
Boo.
now stopped with his hands up, showing his hands, shutting the bike off, and showing his hands. Getting off
welcome
the
in.
motorcycle and surrendering to the California Highway Patrol after that tank appears to have run empty.
You tried, brother. You tried.
4 CHP officers now approaching the suspect with his hands and arms out, now being placed into handcuffs, and this is officially a code 4. Rider in custody and nobody hurt after a high-speed motorcycle pursuit here in Latuna Canyon, coming to an end in Tujunga. And that will do it for our coverage up here in Air 7. For Johnny Perales, Josh Zeta, I'm Chris Christie. Keep it right here on ABC 7 and tune into Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Chris Christie. Unfortunately, there is no other police chase going on. Oh. Let's go to Milwaukee. I don't think we already watched this. I don't believe. Oh, this happened back in February of 2023. This is in Milwaukee.
Just following at the moment? Yep, we're just following. We're going to wait for another squad. Still northbound on 20th. Coming up to Clark. Coming up to Clark here. Ready for this, buddy? Signaling to go eastbound on Clark from 20th. Nope, we're going to keep going north. We're going to come up to center here shortly. Still only going 30 miles an hour.
It's a little slick out there.
No, what's that line for? I'm sorry. The armed robbery carjacking. The plate's going to be Adam Edward King 4440, and we're signaling to go eastbound on center from 20th. One occupant. Looks at least 2 or 3. Looks like 2 or 3 occupants. Still eastbound now, passing 19th on center. Still driving normal.
5428, we're on Daytona and center.
17, monitor.
Doing an armed robbery.
5413, guys. Hold on, guys, I got 6 coming. You're signaling to go northbound here. We're at 16th and center. You're signaling to go northbound on 15. Still driving normal at this point. And we're turning northbound on 15 from center. And we're going to be picking up speed here. It looks
Does the
like.
cop have his lights on?
There we go. Picking up speed here. We're going to light it up. 5463 for the air. Northbound on 15. Passing Hadley in pursuit of blue. On the dead end. Northbound passing Hadley. We're going to be coming up to a dead end here by the school. And we're going to go into the alley. Alley eastbound from 15. And back southbound in the alley. Spinning all over. You might be getting stuck here. All right, nobody's got control. Still southbound in the alley. It's a dead end here. We're going to get in full pursuit. Crash into the house. He's going to keep going through.
Oh, shit.
Come back out to 15th. And southbound on 15th. From
Good job, dude.
Southbound on 15th coming back out to center. He did crash into that house at just the corner. Nobody was outside or anything. Still southbound on 15th back to center.
Could took out a load-bearing beam.
Secondary. Still southbound on 15th. He's going to be passing Clark. Coming up to Wright Street. He's got about a block on us. Clear it. Still southbound. We're catching back up. He's going to go westbound now on Wright Street from 15.
Oh, this is so dangerous.
signal southbound on 16 from Wright Street. Catch it back up, clear right, all the way. Southbound on 16 coming up to Meineke. Speeds are 55, roads are damp, no traffic here. Still southbound, coming up to North Avenue on 16.
The roads are damp and cold. The perfect conditions for black ice.
Eastbound on North Avenue from 16. Going pretty slow. We're right on it. Right on it. Eastbound passing 15. Passing 14. Coming up to Titonia. We got the red light. Clear right, clear right. Right through the red light. Still eastbound. Passing 12. Clear right, clear right.
Damn, the cop's doing like 50, 60. Somebody's on their channel. It's pissed him off.
What is going on? Just get off the air. It's mine.
This is hilarious.
I don't know.
Cops are so incompetent.
Use your handheld. Dude, what is going on? Broadcasting. Nobody's rock.
God, the cop is probably doing 70 now.
What is going on with our radio? Alright, well they're broadcasting, so they got it, but I don't know why we're not hearing anything. What are we on, northbound? What is going on with the radio? It's on a Meineke. Whatever. I know.
5 o'clock in the morning, these motherfuckers just driving around.
Clear, 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 clear.
Sirens blaring in a residential neighborhood.
Dude, I literally cannot hear it. Just focus on.
This is so unsafe. They shouldn't be chasing him.
Clear me, clear me. Yep. Clear, clear, clear. I hope they're broadcast. Turn your handle on, see they're broadcasting. Keep ass right, still northbound. Clark is going northbound. Clear, 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 clear. Northbound. Robbery. Battery still going northbound. Eastbound on Hadley. Eastbound on
Have they lost him? Nope, there he is.
I might have got him with sticks, I'm not sure.
Might have got him with sticks.
Hadley. 60, we're having radio issues. We're going to take back over the broadcast. Eastbound passing Bremen. Passing wheel, clear right. Still eastbound on Hadley.
Oh, he's possibly got tire damage.
Northbound, clear right. Northbound on Humboldt. What is going on?
Yep. It's on the other side of the road now.
Northbound on Humboldt, passing
Oh,
Locust.
maybe he doesn't have tire damage because he's flooring it.
These are 50, roads are damp, traffic is light. Still northbound on Humboldt, coming up to Chambers. Gonna go to westbound on Chambers. Westbound on Chambers from Humboldt, passing Wheel. Passing Wheel, passing Bremen. Clear right, still westbound on Chambers. Coming up to Fratney.
Fucking, how do you remember all those road names?
Chambers. Again, this is 5460, we're taking over again. Still northbound, coming up to Burleigh.
It's gonna be amazing if neither of them crash.
Clear right. Still northbound on Fratney, passing Burleigh, coming up to
I'm betting on both.
50, roads are damp, traffic is light.
Gowser, welcome in.
Past an hour.
Not caring at all.
Coming up to Concordia here shortly. He's signaling to go west, and we're going to go west.
Well,
Westbound.
they totally shouldn't be doing this.
Westbound, coming up to Pierce. We're going to go past Pierce, still westbound on Concordia. Coming up to the red light at Holton. He's gonna go straight through it.
This is in February.
You're right. Still westbound.
There's snow on the side of the roads.
Now passing Richard, still westbound. They're right. Westbound coming up to First Street. He's going northbound on First Street.
I haven't heard him call out his speed lately, but he was doing 60 at one point.
Coming up to Keith here, he's signaling to go west on Keith.
I mean, he's doing every bit 60 right there. Went over that speed bump like it was nothing.
From First Street. Westbound, passing 2nd Street, we're right on him. Coming up to 3rd Street.
You're not right on him.
It's in the wrong lane of traffic. There is some traffic out here. Speeds are 70. Roads are damp. A little bit of traffic. Coming up to Port Washington. He's signaling to go north. Still westbound. Coming up to Atkinson. He's going to go right through the red. Clear right. Westbound on Keith from Port Washington. Passing 7th. Clear.
One of them's going to crash. Maybe both of them.
Picking up here, we're doing 80.
Gee, 80.
Passing 10.
This is in Milwaukee, DJ Dub.
Red light at 12. Straight through the red light, still westbound on Keith. Right.
Doing 80 on a 2-lane road.
Still.
He might be up to 90.
Southbound on 17th from Keith. Southbound. What is going on? Southbound.
And this dude is angry.
Dude, this is not good. Southbound on 17th. We got it. We can't do this. We can't broadcast. There's nobody behind us. Cancel.
Wait, what? Oh no, I gotta find out more about this. I better get an update. October. February 2024. Case. Hold on. I'm gonna find it. Don't worry. That one was on Tuesday afternoon. Couldn't have been the same chase. That's not, man. There's a lot of chases in Milwaukee. It's February 28th. Ooh, this could be it. I think this is it, and this has got a wild story behind it, apparently. Possibly. I think this is it. This aired on March 1st.
When you heard about the woman that died, what were your thoughts?
Hard to believe, really. You know, my thoughts were, wow, here? I mean, 2 doors down?
Neighbors still in shock tonight, less than 48 hours after Aaliyah Perez's murder. The man police say is responsible, now also dead. They say he died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound after a chase and crash on Milwaukee's South Side last night. Police say he had fired shots at them during the chase.
Everybody was on pins and needles running around here trying to figure out, should I lock my garage door? Should I close everything up? You know, what's going to happen next?
One man who saw the chase on his street also in disbelief.
I couldn't believe it. I mean, you know, the police were able to find him right away, but this is just tragic for everyone.
Milwaukee police today named Elijah Combs as the suspect in Perez's death. The 25-year-old woman shot and found dead on 26th Street outside their home, a chaotic crime scene that unfolded Sunday night. Combs was a convicted felon with a history of domestic abuse charges, including strangulation and false imprisonment of a different woman in 2016. Perez's uncle, Milwaukee Common Council President Jose Perez, saying the family is saddened beyond words. Marchetti reached out to Alderman Perez in hopes the entire family can heal after this tragedy.
I'm really sorry.
If this is the same story, and I think it is because this is the day after the chase we just watched, I don't know, Spider Pickle. I'm not finding any other story that would match the time frame.
Hard to say. The message I have is I hope it doesn't happen again. And
Several online court records show Combs had a hearing scheduled for today.
Yes, Combs was indeed facing new felony charges after a chase involving Greenfield police about a month ago. Now, when police arrested him at the end of that chase, they charged him with driving while intoxicated, his 4th OWI since 2015.
But if they knew he was a murder suspect, that would at least have more weight towards the reason why they chased him like that. I still don't know that it was the right decision. Who likes orange cats? They're kind of derpy. It might be different. You might be right. I could not find a different. I could not find a story that matched up with it, other than that one, because the chase was on the 28th, and the story you just watched was on the 1st. So apparently there were multiple police chases in Milwaukee. See, that's why I always shut the lid of the toilet. My cats would drink out of the toilet. I don't want to kiss them after they've drank out of the toilet. Is your orange cat derpy? Orange cat wants some spaghetti? Oh my god. There might be something wrong with orange cats. I like them though. I like all cats. Curiouser's best friend is a vet tech. She says orange cats are all derpy. She told me all tuxedo cats What's a hot take? You want a hot take from me, 5 Shot? Also, welcome in. I don't know if I gave you a proper good evening. look at the cat with the mouse on him. Let's do what? What's a hot take that I have? Hold on, let me think for a second. I don't know. I think all the hot takes I've always had, people have come around to them. Pickles are nasty. Okay, here's your hot take. I have not watched the last one yet of the second Star Wars trilogy. I was weird. I only started watching Star Wars in the last couple of years. I've watched one every year since 2019, I think. So I've watched the first 3, and I've watched the first 2 of the modern movies, or the prequels. That's the word I'm looking for. So far, I've liked Phantom Menace and the Clone Wars. Those are 2. Other than the very first one, those are my 2 favorites. And after I watch the next one, Revenge of the Sith or whatever it is, it's possible that I will believe that the prequels are better than the original. I was so upset at the third one. I thought there was a huge drop in quality between the first one and the second one, and then I thought the third one was just complete dog shit. That is one of the worst movies I've ever watched in my life. I was pleasantly surprised when I watched the first one, and I was like, oh God, I really have been missing out. This is a great movie. The second one, there's a big drop off in quality, and for some reason that's a lot of people's favorites. And then the third one was just complete dog shit. You should throw that out. And then Phantom Menace was really good. I really enjoyed it. Like, a lot of people told me it sucked, and it might be my favorite, other than the first one. And I really liked the second of the prequels. So there you go, hot take. Really like the second of the prequels. Big fan of teenage Anakin. I've got Socks over here throwing a fit. Being a little dickwad. Stop it. Let's see where I'm sending you guys. Oh, you know where you're going? We're going to go see Sock Cop. If you're watching on Twitch, we're going to go watch Sock Cop. I will be back tomorrow night. Go ahead, light one up, tip one back. It's all right to have a little fun before you hit the sack. I'm Justin Freakin. We will see you tomorrow night on the Troll Patrol Live.